All right, thank you everyone for joining. We're going to get started now. You could all please just keep your mics muted for the duration of the presentation, and we'll go ahead and jump in. So aloha and welcome to the virtual briefing for the EFSP Phase 40 funding opportunity. My name is Kayla Ke'ehu Alexander, and I'm the Safety Net Programs Manager at Aloha United Way, and I'll be giving this virtual briefing today. This meeting it will be recorded and posted on the AUW website once we're all done, for anyone who needs to go back and review or who would like to view it initially. Also, we wanted to ask that everyone, if you have any questions, just hold them until the end or go ahead and throw them in the chat box and I'll answer them after the presentation. So to begin, we wanted to give a short overview on the EFSP program. EFSP stands for Emergency Food and Shelter Program, which is a federally funded initiative that aims to support programs designated as emergency assistance. EFSP National is made up of 6 national nonprofit organizations, which their logos are all here on the screen, and it's chaired by FEMA. The EFSP National Board determines what counties are funded each year based on a formula involving a county's population, poverty, and unemployment data. Emergency in this case is referring to an economic emergency of a population. Funding is released every year, but not always on a consistent timeline. Funding cycles are referred to as phases, and the current phase, 40, will be made available to Honolulu County in March. So what does AUW do for EFSP? Well, United Way is part of the national board. Therefore, local United Ways, including us at AUW, serve as the local administrators of the program. And it is our kuleana, our responsibility, to secure all the required local board members, which is one local member from each of these agencies, and then convene the local board to make key decisions and determinations regarding the funding. We also handle communication and the administrative tasks on the EFSP portal. So EFSP National has announced $130 million for Phase 40 funding, of which $371,078 will be coming to Honolulu County. These funds are to be used in the spending period of November 1st, 2021 until December 31st, 2023, for the end of this calendar year. This phase is running concurrently with Phase 39 and ARPA-R, which were released in 2022. All EFSP funds must be used for existing programs. They are not to be used as seed money for new programs. This year, the Honolulu Local Board has opted to allocate funding to these 4 priority areas. We have mass shelter, rent and mortgage assistance, metered utility assistance, and other food. The other food award is not dollars from EFSP, but the Honolulu Local Board has opted to utilize the Hawaii Food Bank as a fiscal conduit, meaning that the other food award comes as credits from the Hawaii Food Bank. Listed here are a few examples of eligible program items for those categories. So an eligible program would be one that pays 1 month of past due rent or paying a past due utility bill. Mass shelters, who can operate with a per diem of $12.50 per person per day to cover direct expenses incurred with housing a client. And food items, including all food, food vouchers, food boxes, and even transportation of food. So if you're interested in applying, or you think your agency could make use of these funds, the RFP was released on Thursday, February 9th, and all submissions must be received by AUW by 5 p.m. on Friday, February 24th, and the application can be found on our website. The applications you can send directly to me. This is my email address, and it is also on the AUW EFSP website. I'm going to show you what that looks like here for anyone who wants to take a look. If you go to auw.org/EFSP, it will direct you to our website here. There's some information about the program, the funding limits, some eligibility requirements, which I'll go over with you in just a moment, the application for download, and some helpful tools, including the EFSP manual and quick reference guides. There's one for every single category. So if you click on the application, it'll take you to a Word document that you can download. And on here, your agency will have to fill out some agency information, the amounts that you're requesting for the various categories, and answer 4 questions about your programs and your agency. Remember to have a lead of your agency sign off and then submit it to me through email. You can mail in a hard copy, but it does need to be received by Friday the 24th at 5 p.m. If you email to me, I will send you a confirmation email as a response. If you do not get a confirmation email within a day, please send it again or call us at AUW. That way we can make sure that we did receive your application. And also on that website, there are these things called quick reference guides. So this one is for the rent and mortgage category. And these are made by EFSP to give some information about the specific categories. It has a description on what that category covers, eligible items, ineligible items, and the documentation requirements for every category. You will need these for reporting purposes at the end of the grant. So awarded agencies are known as local recipient organizations, or LROs. Because these are federal funds, there are a number of eligibility requirements for all agencies, and they're listed right here. So an agency must be a private, voluntary, nonprofit, or unit of government, be eligible to receive federal funds, have an accounting system, practice non-discrimination, have the capability to deliver programs under this EFSP fund, have a unique entity identifier, or UEI number, registered with SAM.gov, and have a voluntary board of directors. If you've received EFSP funds before, these will mostly look familiar. The only new requirement is number 6, the UEI number, and this is replacing the federal DUNS number. So the DUNS numbers are no longer applicable. Any federal award is going to need this UEI number, which you can register for at SAM.gov. If your agency is awarded funds, you will gain access to the EFSP portal, which will ask you to complete additional information like certifications, EFT information, and this is also where all the reporting is done. All funds come from EFSP through EFT, and it will come in 2 installments. The first payment will occur shortly after the national office approves our local board's plan and the awardees, and the second payment will come upon request by the agency. Whenever the agency is ready for their second round of funds, the agency will put in a request on the portal, and it has to be approved by the national board and the local board, and then the funds will come your way. All reporting and documentation is completed through EFSP's online portal, with supplemental documents sent to EFSP through email. There are 2 reports per funding phase. One relatively short report when your agency makes the second payment request, and the second is a final report that details spending on a specified spreadsheet and requires support documentation. Templates are provided to all agencies to use for the final reports, and agencies must use the templates provided. The final reports for this Phase 4D funding will be due on January 31st, 2024. This here is an example of what one of those templates looks like. Be submitted to the agency in an Excel document. And this one, again, is for the rent and mortgage category. So your agency would fill out all the different items here and then submit the required support documentation to EFSP. Near the end of this year, the end of 2023, we will be hosting a final reports training on how to complete and submit all these documents to EFSP. For anyone who may be interested, if you're new to the program or your team just needs a refresher, we're here to provide that for you. All right, and that is all the information we have for this briefing. Does anyone have any questions or comments or anything they'd like to share? All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
Kara. Hi, I'm Bridget from EFSP. How do you find out like your history as an agency if you've on the reporting and stuff like that? Because looking at the website, you can't really pull up your history from previous years.
There is a way to see your previous reports on the portal, and I'm absolutely happy to walk with you through that. And we can pull it on our end as well and send it to your agency.
Thank you.
Of course. Any other questions?
Yeah, hi, this is, go ahead.
No, I just have one more question. What is the spending period?
So the spending period for this phase is, it goes back to November 1st, 2021, all the way up until the end of this calendar year. So December 31st, 2023.
Hi, this is Robert with RISE. And we are we have the current phase 39 grant. And I did notice that this year's amounts are a lot less. So for the mass shelter, which is the one I'm most interested in, running a shelter, does that have to be used for people like while they're in the shelter, or can it be used like for them as they move into housing, like to do housing placement services and things like that?
There are very specific items that you can use the funds for. If it is for shelter, I believe it has to be used while the individual is in the shelter. And then there's also rental assistance and utility assistance for those who are maybe transitioning out. But the limits for the rent assistance, for example, is 1 month. And utility assistance, I believe there's limits on that, like it has to be a 90-day bill. And you're right, this amount is a lot less than it was last year. This is actually closer to the amount that it typically is year after year. Last year, we received the American Rescue Plan funds, which greatly increased the award amount, but that was a one-time award.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
Any last questions? I'm going to go ahead and drop my email in the chat for everyone. And if you have anything pops into your mind, go ahead and reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions or even connect you if I don't know the answer to the folks who can over at EFSP. Again, this presentation and the slides and all this information will be up on our website, and there's already a bunch of information on there, including the application. And those quick reference guides have a lot of specifics that you can refer to for your individual programs. All right, thank you so much for joining, everybody. We really appreciate your time, and we hope that we can support you. Have a wonderful day.